Hey, friends! Well, it's time to revisit the 1990s, and this time we're looking at Ladybugs from 1992, starring Rodney Dangerfield and Jonathan Brandis. Our story goes like this. Rodney plays Chester, a salesman who wants a big promotion so he can marry his fiancée. But the boss of the company is not inclined to give him one. That is, not until Chester volunteers to become the coach for a company-sponsored girls' soccer team, the Ladybugs. Chester doesn't know anything about soccer, but gets his assistant from work to help out, and yes, the girls are hopelessly terrible at the game. Meanwhile, Chester's fiancée has a son, Matthew, who doesn't like Chester, but he has the hots for a chick at school. Turns out said chick is not only a member of the team, but is the daughter of Chester's boss. By the way, Rodney here, he was like pushing 70 at this time, and this fiancé is obviously like 40. Gives hope for the rest of us when we get old, huh? Matthew is really good at playing soccer, and Chester wants his help to turn the Ladybugs into a winning team so he can get the promotion. Anyway, Matthew decides to help out to be near the chick of his dreams, but in order to do so, he has to wear a wig and a dress and pass himself off as a girl so he can play on the team. Hijinks ensue. Will Chester get the big promotion? Will Matthew get the girl? And will the Ladybugs win in the championship game? This one. Well, in our cast, we have the great comic Rodney Dangerfield, of course. This was his first star turn since Back to School, made 8 years previous. And Jonathan Brandis plays Matthew. This was just a few years before he would take on what was arguably his most famous role, Lucas Wallencheck on Sequest DSV. Man, I miss Jonathan Brandis. I always liked him. He left us too soon. Way too soon. Anyway, he's pretty good here, both as Matthew and as his alter ego, Mandy. He mostly pulls that off. We also have Jackie Harry, a familiar face in the 1980s and 90s. She was a regular on 227 and Sister Sister. Irene Graff plays Bess, Chester's fiancée. She was Marcia on Mr. Belvedere. Vanessa Shaw plays the girl Matthew likes. She was in Eyes Wide Shut, 310 to Yuma, and Hocus Pocus. So, this is not one for the Twitter kids, I'm afraid. The TKs might like the idea of a character cross-dressing, and he even uses the ladies' room at one point, but identity is not the reason he does it. He just wants to be close to this girl. Plus, the movie derives quite a bit of humor from the cross-dressing capers, so no, I don't think the Twitter kids will go for it. Despite starring one of the leading lights of comedy, Rodney Dangerfield, this was a box office failure. Rodney blamed the marketing of the film, making it out to be a family movie when it was written for mature teenagers and college kids. And it's true, the humor is not always family-friendly. Not too bad by today's standards, but not for kids, even though the movie itself does come off as a family movie about 70 or 80% of the time. So it was a weird mix. Also, the movie is very lightweight, very paper thin. It lacks a certain gravity, a substance that could have made it one of the greats. Watching this, I kept getting the feeling that parts of it had been chopped out wholesale to speed up the pace and cut down the running time. It's kind of shocking that this was directed by Sidney Furie, who helmed The Jazz Singer, The Boys in Company C, The Ipcris File, and Iron Eagle. On the other hand, he also directed Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. So there you go. Rodney's doing his best here. His one-liners are always funny, but even he can't save this one. I hate to say it, but yeah, this one was a bit of a dud. And the picture felt very dated on top of that. In spite of the best efforts of Rodney and Brandis, Ladybugs just isn't that great. Rodney and Brandis are both worth seeing, but both deserved better. I have to give it a paw and a half. Wish I could give it more, but it's just not that good. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.